Testing. Let's go. Here we go. The Mic is Yours is a platform for local artists around the world to get on the platform and do your thing. From singing, dancing, comedy, poetry, spoken word, we want it all. And we want to show the world that the mic is yours.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here on The Mic is Yours. This is your DJ, Mark Lane Entertain, holding it down, if you know what I'm saying. We got in the house on today. My brothers coming back to the show. You know what I'm saying? They double the trouble. Let's give it up for royalty in the house, holding it down.
What's going on, y'all?
Appreciate it, man. Pleasure for having us, man.
Yes, sir. We really appreciate you brothers coming back on, man. Y'all was a hit the last time on The Mic is Yours live.
Man,
Appreciate it.
I definitely had to bring these brothers back, you know what I'm saying, to do a mic check so we can get to know what is up with royalty holding it down. So
Yes,
fellas,
sir.
let's get right into it, man.
Yes.
What's up with royalty? What's going on in 2021? I know you fellas got started early on in the church and everything like that, but just wanted to see how it all got to going, where y'all are at right now, and what's in the horizon for royalty.
Absolutely.
Man, how we started, like, we just have to give honor where honor is due. It all started with our mother. She is the engine that started this whole thing. She taught us a song, and we had to memorize this song. We had to get the notes, we had to get the keys, we had to do all these different things before we could even go outside and play. So she wasn't playing. Like, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it in excellence. So shout out to Mama, love you.
Come on now, gotta give props to Mom Dukes. Yes,
Got
sir.
to.
Always.
Absolutely. And so, like you were saying, you know, we basically went into the church and we were small, little kids, and singing and crying at the same time. You know, sometimes you couldn't really hear our voice because we trembling and crying. And I remember, I tell this story all the time, how we had to sing at a funeral. And singing at a funeral is a very dramatic situation when you're a little kid, because you're sitting there with a dead body a few feet away from you, and you're trying to sing this song. So if you ever had stage fright, you got over stage fright when you had to sing in front of a body.
Yeah.
So
Come on now.
at that moment, we were on stages ever since then. We grew up, you know, going off into school and singing at lunch tables and playgrounds, and you know, getting the, you know, people to surround us because they were like, oh, they could sing. You know, back then it was Tevin Campbell, Jodeci, you know what I mean, Michael Jackson. So if you sang one of them, you know, Babyface, you sing one of their songs, you something got the attention. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes, sir. So
Jamie Foxx, yeah. So that we kind of gained a lot of popularity being growing up to singing, you know, singing in choirs, you know, in competitions, talent shows. But it also, what he actually mentioned earlier about my mom is, so she was so big on making us do things right.
Come on now.
That we used to actually have, you know, poetry night on Friday nights. The family would just get together, we do poetry night or act out scenes. And so that was the start of me writing. I started writing all of our music we write ourselves. But I started writing when I was 13 years old. And from that point on, she found one of my notebooks and she said, why aren't you doing something with this?
Come on
and
now.
So
yes, sir.
Literally that's what happened. We literally started doing our own thing and started, we had a guy who came to our church.
She found my notebook and she said, stop. Stop.
She found stuff she didn't want to see in his notebook.
You're grounded.
Hey.
Right.
We had the Love Jones up in there.
Yeah. Dear Sweetness, yeah. So basically, even as we kind of got older, we kind of walked away from music. I mean, we still did music in the church. You know, for my parents are pastors, so we would sing in the church every Sunday. But we really didn't push the music, our own music, until one day a producer came into our church and we was playing the piano, and he heard us singing in praise and worship. That Sunday, he came to us. He said, "Man, y'all like the next Jagged Edge." He said, "I gotta have y'all record something." And everything, the rest is up to history right there. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So how was that, man? You know, of course, I'm not a preacher's kid. I'm not a PK, but being a PK, having a love for music, and I mean, was that transition a little, you know, in reference to, because I know y'all are kind of a little bit more R&B,
Right.
or you do more gospel? How was that? How was that process?
It's risky because church and religion can be, some people can be kind of judgmental, you know what I mean? So it's almost like, and not our parents though. Like our parents, they always understood that God was love and, love, so they weren't like that, but, people, their friends or other relatives, they may be like this, why aren't they singing gospel music? But they were more, I appreciate them for being understanding. Now, I remember a time when we couldn't listen to 100.3 or K104 or couldn't watch BT. But that lasted for a little season, and then they was like, let them kick, because guess what? We was gonna do it anyway.
They gonna do it anyway. They gonna kick on them. That's right. Yes, sir.
That's right.
And I think that sometimes being a PK, you have so many expectations.
Right.
You have expectations to follow your parents' footsteps.
Yes.
And so one thing,
And I was a thug. I was a straight thug.
he was R&B thug. He wasn't a real
right,
thug.
R&B thug. No, I was an R&B thug.
So basically, you were looked at to sit there and follow your grandparents and your parents' legacy and their footsteps. And one thing about it is, I would always tell people, my parents are pastors. I'm not. You know what I mean? So I live my life the way I live. And so it was one of those things, because, we got piercings, we got tattoos. So it was almost one of those things, we weren't saved enough for the church, but we were too good for the streets. So it was almost that in between. You know what I mean? Church people didn't want nothing to do with us because we too worldly, but then the world didn't want nothing to do with us because we were sitting there talking about God all the time. So it's almost like you had nowhere to turn because you're like, I can't be accepted anywhere. So it's almost like you finally get to that place where you just say, hey, I'm gonna do what I love. And I believe that the music that we put out is music that I believe that you can play in front of your grandparents, parents, your kids. We're not talking about stuff that's on, that's disrespectful or talking about a bunch of sex and all these things. We're talking about stuff that's going back to the roots of what R&B, when I fell in love with R&B. Not
to say sex is a bad thing.
I'm not saying that.
Right. Gotta have it, right? Gotta have it.
We can do it in seconds.
Yeah, it's a classic. It's almost like when Luther Vandross said, let me hold you tight.
Hey,
for one night.
Yeah.
See, it was classic. It was a classic song. It had nothing about, hey, we going something.
Didn't nobody ask him to sing?
It was just, but that's when I fell in love with music. That's when I fell in love with the artistry of R&B, how you could sit there and just hit a play and let a song talk to the girl. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why we start writing our own music, because I want to be able to just hit play. And I want the story to, the work of art to manifest before you. I want you to close your eyes and go on to an experience that we're taking you to. I want you to remember that first love when you hit play on one of our songs. I want you to imagine yourself walking down the aisle when you hear one of our songs. I want those kind of origins of music and connecting. I don't believe that, and nothing against what's on the radio right now, but I believe that so many times people lack substance. And so we hear a bunch of noise, but you don't hear substance. That you don't have those things that are going to be here. You can play a Boyz II Men song right now. People in this generation, the previous generation will know that song. Why? Because it's longevity. It was substance.
Right.
There's some stuff that's on the radio that next summer we're gonna forget about. You know what I mean? So it's putting out quality things that people can always love, and it's timeless classics, things like that.
So would you say y'all's style, in reference to what you're saying, is kind of getting back to that 90s feel, more substance, more vibe, in reference to what R&B is today? And so what is y'all's feel in reference to R&B today and R&B to when y'all was coming up?
Well, I will say this, because it is, even though music has changed and it has evolved, it's some people holding it down that are phenomenal right now, like her, Jasmine Sullivan, like those people. Like, I love that style of that neo soul. Summer Walker's like one of my favorite artists right now. So I still love it. But I do have unconditional love for that 90s kind of feel.
It was something about the 90s. I don't know if it was because it was groups or love or, you know.
Right. It was a different experience. And as you see, even the music now is grabbing some of those old songs. So that's what's showing that you just can't let that stuff go. But I just feel like mentally, we were at a different place. People wanted to be in relationships. They wanted love. They wanted to work things out. They wanted to tell their story. And I feel like at this point, and I don't like to just be stereotyped, but I feel like at this point, everybody's just like, man, just me, myself, and I. Like, if it don't work out, oh, well, I'm just gonna go get the next. But I ain't like, does anybody stay together no more? Like, can we work this out? Like,
right. Exactly.
I mean, Jodeci literally said it's been an hour since you've been gone.
Like 1 hour.
This guy's something that they talking about. I will cry for you. I'm not too prideful to cry for you. But I think that right now, when it comes to music, right now, I feel like a lot of people are afraid to be individuals. They're afraid to, but like he mentioned, he said, you know, times are evolving, so you can't do the same things over and over. But at the same token, I don't want to be able to sound like everybody out there. You know what I mean? You listen to some of these rap artists, everybody sounds alike. You can't tell who's who. You know, so I believe that being able to show your creativity, show who your authentic, be authentic and enough to show who you really are. That's what's going to get people's attention. And I believe that if you stick to your craft, then you're going to get fans. It's not about stuff there trying to say, hey, this is how I'm going to get radio play.
Right.
Because let's be honest with you. There's a lot of artists out there who are underrated. They may not have the Grammys. They may not have the plaques on the wall, but they are talented artists. But they have not changed who they are in order to get the crowd. See, I'm not going to change my gift. I'm not going to change my talent to measure up to the next man. I'm going to do what I love about music. I'm gonna express it the way I like to express it. And you know, those people who love that style are gonna join the bandwagon. If they don't, they're gonna keep moving to the next guy. So
hey, that's 100, man. 100%.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to kind of get into, for the simple fact, y'all are twins, man. So you know, I noticed on your hands, y'all both kind of got the same tat. You know.
Oh yeah.
So royalty, tell us about that. What is royalty? What does that mean to y'all, and why do y'all call yourselves royalty?
Well, royalty it's not just a brand. It's an image. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. It's a mind frame. So when we call ourselves royalty, we're calling ourselves kings, but we're not the only kings. There's other kings. Like we look at you as a king, we look at other males as kings, and we see women as queens, but it's just a mind frame that we do things a little bit different. You know what I mean? We use our heads before we do anything. We think before we move. You feel what I'm saying? We try to be strategic in our moving and how we get along in life. And so it was our father kind of placed that into us. He called us kings, and we never let that go. And we walked this life to just not only walk in that stature of a king, but raise our children and raise young men that see us in that same light, and let them know, like, hey, bro, wake up, you're king. And so I'm not gonna lie and say I don't use the N-word from time to time, but I try to refer to my brothers as kings now.
Yeah,
but,
no doubt. That's why.
Yes, I think I echo everything he said. I think that so many times when people will hear the name royalty, you know, when they see the clothing, when they see the barbershops and things like that, they almost take it in a way like, oh, they think they're cocky. They almost get offended by it, like, why do they think they royalty? I've had people literally sit there and get offended because I call myself royalty, but they don't understand the origin behind it. Understanding that when my father called us kings was during a time when I was had the lowest self-esteem, you know, in my life. And the reason why he was pouring into me was because I was at my lowest end. So when I say royalty, it's a reminder to me that no matter how bad it looks, how bad it feels, that I'm still a king, and it's time to get up. You know what I mean? So so when people really get to know us and find out where it really comes from, then they respect it, then they support us, you know. But I think sometimes they take it like, oh man, they cocky, they conceited. Nah, that's not even right.
They don't know the story behind the story, for sure.
Right.
So royalties a brand. So y'all got tell us a little bit. So y'all got clothing. Y'all got the name Royalty. Give us some information about your music, where we can find y'all. Clothing, if they want to, your ID. What's the plug, baby?
Okay, so as far as clothing, look, we have t-shirts, we have hats, we have tank tops, we have shorts, we have leggings, we have Letterman jackets. We're going to be coming out with a little bit more stuff, but right now the link to the Royalty, how is it? It's IG?
It's on IG. It's Royalty Designs.
Royalty. Yeah.
And you can find us on IG, Royalty Designs with a Z. And you can actually, we're currently working on getting the website together so people can go online and purchase and customize their material. But until that actually happens, you can also reach out to us on that IG page and make your orders. That's how a lot of many of our customers are hitting us up through the DM and we even ship it out to people. So even that, it's not just a brand. It's something that we're showing even as we go day in and day out, just showing that image of royalty. You know, so we want to put it on our hat. You know what I mean? Like you're wearing a crown. You know what I mean? So
come on now, yes sir.
Definitely put it out there. As far as music, we actually are working on our third project right now.
Okay.
It's gonna be bananas. Look, listen to me.
Hey,
listen to me, boo boo.
Hey,
this EP right here, like bananas. Yeah, bananas.
Okay.
I would honestly say that this EP is probably one of the most. Man, I'm proud of this one. I'm very proud. I'm proud of it. It took a lot of stuff happened in between the last project and this project. But a lot of growth that also happened during this time. So I'm very proud of the work that we put into it. I'm proud of, some of the tracks it's already completed. This is going to be a good one. It will be streaming on honestly, any project that we have. Our first album, Paper and Pen, and our second album, Next Chapter, Royalty. You can find that on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Tidal. Is Tidal still around?
Still around.
Spotify, anywhere you can stream music, you can find it. You can search Royalty and Paper and Pen or Royalty Next Chapter. That's where our music is housed. So you can, and we're also on YouTube as well. So the next project will be available as soon as possible. We put on some final touches. That's the reason I try not to say when it's going to come out, but it's coming soon.
Yeah. Put that teaser there.
Yeah, it's coming soon.
Before we wrap it up, man, and maybe hear a little something from the king, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all, so I can tell y'all definitely some good brothers, man. I was gonna ask y'all a little bit about your family life or your family, and then also if you could give us some inspiration to that mother, that father, or that young artist. Just something we always like to inspire and uplift here at the Mic Is Yours. And so we just want to hear from the brothers, man, the twins, y'all.
Man. So as far as family, man, we come from a huge family. We are, I think that family is the foundation of our lives. Family is what supports us, what keeps pushing us, whether it be our children, our parents, my sisters, cousins. Family is huge for us. Like, I honestly tell people all the time that I have no friends. All I have is family.
Come on.
Because my family were my buddies, so we never had to do anything alone. So I actually have to say this. I don't want to get off this interview without saying this. My baby girl, my youngest baby girl, just turned 14 on this past Sunday. So I have a beautiful daughter, 14 years old, and my oldest daughter will be turning 20 in May. So
wow.
So that's the reason why I'm bald right now. But as far as inspiration, man, I think that now is the time to pursue everything that you desire. I think that now is the time to don't just dream it, but walk towards it. And understand that during this difficult time that we're living in, where we are dealing with crisis and pandemics and things like that, a lot of people are discouraged, and a lot of people don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. But I would honestly have to say that just keep going. Nothing happens if you stand still, but just keep going. If there's things in my life that today I look back and say, I don't know how I got out of that situation. I thought that was the end for me. I thought this was it for me, and yet I'm still here. So my encouraging word to anybody is just keep going, keep fighting, keep pursuing your dreams, keep moving forward, and you're gonna see it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna end it with my inspiration is one of my favorite animals in the jungle is the elephant. And the reason why I like an elephant is because it has a phenomenal memory. It remembers everything. Well, that's a crutch too, because the way that you can train an elephant is you can tie the back of its leg with a rope and a stake in the ground when it's small. And every time it sees a rope, it will remember that it can't get out, even though it outgrows that rope one day. So sometimes that's how we are in life. We are held back by the things that we remember. Sometimes it's best for us to let go because we're not those same people that were once held back. We have grown. We've grown spiritually. We've grown mentally, emotionally. So some stuff it's time to forget and just walk into the future.
Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all heard the best from the twins. We're in the house. Hold it down. We really appreciate these brothers. Y'all check these brothers out, man. They going places. They doing things. They excited about their new album. You know what I'm saying? Royalty, the mic is yours.
Look, because I can't do this anymore. No, I'm serious. Look, please, look.
I gotta leave, I gotta go. I'm wasting time, but now I know you ain't gonna change your ways. Now it's time to walk away. I gotta leave, I gotta go. I'm wasting time, but now I know you ain't gonna change your ways. And now it's time to walk away. So tell me, how could we be something you're not ready for? I gave you the best me, and now I'm walking out the door. I'm tired of the games, tired of the lies, done with the question and asking why. I deserve much better, I'ma get much better. Let this song be my dear John letter. Cause I gotta leave, I gotta go. I'm wasting time, but now I know you ain't gonna change your ways. Now it's time to walk away. Ooh, I gotta leave, I gotta go. I wasted time, but now I know you ain't gonna change your ways. Now it's time to walk away. She says a penny for your thoughts. I replied, can't afford the cost. We've reached a point of no return. Lessons learned, but bridges have been burned. Tell me what sense does it make? Going round and round the same mistakes. Give me one reason I should stay. On second thought, it won't matter anyway. I gotta leave, I gotta go. I wasted time, but now I know you ain't gonna change your ways. Now it's time to walk away. I gotta leave, I gotta go. I'm wasting time, but now I know you ain't gonna change your ways. Now it's time to walk away. It's too late, I'm gone. It's too late, I'm gone. It's too late. I'm gone. It's too late. I'm gone. It's too late. I'm gone.